Hi friends, good morning all of you and welcome to today's class. Session 4, we will discuss about exceptions to the law of demand. Exceptions to the law of demand. So far, we have discussed about the reasons behind why does the demand curve slopes downward, and we have studied some of the reasons. Okay, why this demand curve slopes downward from left to right. The reasons we have studied were law of diminishing marginal utility, income effect, substitution effect, increase in number of consumers, and several use of commodity. So those were the reasons that we had already studied. Why does demand curve slopes downward from left to right? In today's class, we are going to discuss about some of the exceptions to the law of demand. What is meant by exceptions to the law of demand? Certain situations. Okay, the law of demand is considered to be valid in the most of the situations, but actually in practicals, the law of demand may not operate in many situations. As I have told you that law of demand cannot be operate in many situations at present in our life. So such exceptional cases are known as the exception to the law of demand. For example, if we see that the exceptions to the law of demand, we will not find any inverse relations there in the quantity demanded of a commodity and its price. So this relation is in an opposite way we could see. So those exceptional cases, okay, that means in the law of demand we have studied when the price of a commodity increases, the quantity demanded of a commodity decreases. But certain situations during a particular period of time, when the quantity demanded of a commodity can increase along with the increase in price. So that situations, we will not get an inverse relation here. Therefore, the demand curve in that cases will not be negatively followed or inverse negatively falls. Then it's a situation that we will see a right where a positively sloping demand curve. Okay, demand curve that positively moves towards its right side up. That means the demand curve is positively sloping from left to right towards up. So this relation you will see. So those situations we are going to explain. Those situation in which their law of demand is not functioning is called exceptions to the law of demand. So some of the situations, okay. So in place of seeing a negatively sloping demand curve, in such exceptional cases, in all the cases, we will see a positively sloping demand curve. A positively sloping demand curve means that demand curve shows the quantity demanded of a commodity is much more at the time of when the price of commodity increases. That means, in a simple sense, a consumer can demand more commodity at high prices. This is what is the exception to the law of demand and the reasons behind to the positive slope of demand curve. And the first important reason for an upward slope of demand curve, is considered as the first exception. That is one, given goods. You can note it down. The first exception is given goods. Given goods. What is known as given goods? Given goods, okay, given goods are those inferior goods. Given goods are those inferior goods on which the consumer spends the large part of his income, and the demand for which falls with a fall in their prices. Okay, so what is given goods? Given goods are in one way it is similar to the inferior goods. In the last class we have studied what are called inferior goods. What are called inferior goods? Inferior goods are those goods in which consumer spends or demand a large part of his income. Okay, when there is a falls in price of that commodity, that means we have also seen a situation in which a consumer changes his consumption pattern from inferior goods to the superior goods. Similarly, different goods are those inferior goods. Are you getting me? Given goods are those inferior goods in which a consumer can increase or in which a consumer can change his consumption pattern from inferior goods to the superior goods. Right? These example wheat and rice we have seen. From the wheat consumption, the consumer changes his consumption towards the superior item, that rice, okay, to the wheat. That is known as given goods. And you keep in mind that given goods, given goods or the demand for such commodity in superior goods commodity increases only when there is an increase in real income. Real income, when a consumer's real income increases, that leads to increase in demand of the superior commodity. So, real income increases only when there is a falls in the price of a commodity. We have seen that as the price of a commodity falls, leads to an increase in the real income of the consumer. Therefore, the additional money, what is considered as the real income, could be utilized for purchasing more of superior goods to the inferior goods. So that situation, that behavior is known as given goods. Or in such a way, we can say the law of demand do not work. The law of demand do not function in this exception. So this is what is known as given goods. I think you are clear. Certain situation, if we see that, suppose if the price of such inferior goods, okay, not superior, if the price of such inferior goods rises, if such a situation occurs, the poor consumers, they will be forced to spend more on the purchase of these items, these food items, because they are absolutely essential for that survival. And therefore we can say that in cases is different. They cannot afford to purchase the same quantity of the superior food items like the rich people because they are poor. Okay, so this is what is given goods. And the second reason, second exceptions to the law of demand is articles of snob appeal. You can write that. Articles of snob appeal. Articles of snob appeal. What is snob appeal? Okay, the commodities which serve as a status symbol. Okay, in the society, some of the people wants to display the wealth or the richness by purchasing various types of ornaments, gold ornaments, diamonds, necklace, or such luxurious items that shows, that reveals the richness of a person. Such goods are known as articles of snob appeal, in which they can easily show their status in the society. It is a symbol of status. It is a symbol of that person's richness. Okay, he or she shows the how much his income level because of purchasing this diamonds or high price of necklace, and therefore what we can say, the high value, using those high value commodities may be the symbolic expression of the richness of the people, and therefore such cases in the society, people never ready to reduce the consumption of those commodities that reveals, that shows the richness and the wealth and the status symbols, they may utilize more, they may demand more and more. They never mind whatever the price is. Are you getting me? Whatever the price, okay? Whatever the price exists in the markets, it doesn't matter. The such people, those who wants to show their status, okay? Why? By wearing such ornaments, they may not mind the price of the commodity in the market. Therefore, they may purchase, they may demand more and more commodity or such commodity, even the price go up. So we can say that in such a situation, that is a violation. What violates? The law of demand. It can be easily violate the law of demand. So that is against the law of demand. Therefore, it is considered as the exemptions to the law of demand. What? Articles of snow appeal. Such a situation, that type of consumption can be termed as a conspicuous consumption. Conspicuous consumption. Okay. What does we mean conspicuous consumptions? Conspicuous consumption means these goods, okay, which are demanded by the people, okay, those goods have the speciality to show the status symbol, okay, of their wealth or in the society, and such goods are, okay, that way of consumption is known as articles of slow appeal or conspicuous consumptions. Is that clear? Okay. So third reason we could see, third exception to the law of demand we can see, that is expectation regarding future price. We can write the third point, expectations. Expectation regarding future prices. Expectation regarding future price. What is expectation regarding future prices? What will happen? Commonly just we think, being we are a consumer, okay, in such a situation, if there is a chance, okay, if I find there is a chance in future that the price of such a commodity, the price of those necessities are going to increase in future, definitely my consumption pattern, my demand may change. So that with that concept, I must purchase or I must demand more of such a commodity today itself, because I have heard that the price of those commodities will be high in future. So therefore my attitude is that, okay, being a consumer, my attitude to get more and more of such a commodity today itself, whatever the prices, and I can easily hoard for the coming days of uses. So this is what is expectation regarding future price. So therefore, there I am not able to follow the law of demand. Okay, whatever the price, when the demand is more. Okay, such a situation when consumers anticipate. Suppose they are anticipating a large fall in the price of the commodity. A large fall in the price of the commodity. Their consumers, what will they do? There they will not purchase today, because the next day or the coming days they are anticipating there is a fall, a decrease in the price of those commodities. Therefore, they could easily postpone. They can easily postpone their purchase. Okay, even if the price falls today, okay, they have already heard in coming days the price of those commodities will be lesser than what is actually today's price. So therefore they can postpone their purchasing power. If just opposite, if it happens, they may demand it more. If the price of such commodities are going to rise in future, they may demand today more of the commodity, they will purchase, they will get it more of such commodity today itself, and they never mind the prices. And this situation proves that the exceptions to the law of demand. I think we are clear. Understand? And we will see that another situation is emergencies. 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 What is meant by emergencies? Law of demand may not hold a good during emergencies like war or famines. Okay, nowadays we are going to face, or in the coming days we are going to face such a situation, great depression, okay, due to this, okay, due to this pandemic effect, okay, diseases. So such a situation, a law of demand may not hold. It won't work there. If they expect there is a shortage of goods in future, what will they do? Commonly, they would purchase, they would buy, they would have more of such goods and hoard it with them. Because I could use it future, because there is a chance in future it's going to happen. There is a great depression, and therefore people have more the demand on such a commodity, and they may get it. So emergency period, if such comes, those situation, law of demand never works. Law of demand never works. Therefore, we are saying that is one of the exceptions to the law of demand. Situation where the law of demand do not work. The situation where we see a positive sloping demand curve instead of negative sloping demand curve. Okay, clear? Okay. The next exceptions we are going to see that quality price relationship. You can note it down. Quality price relationship. What is meant by quality price relationship? This quality price relationship in economics, it is also known as Veblen effect. Veblen effect. Okay. Veblen effect. What is Veblen effect, or what is quality price relation? Certain situations, okay, sometimes we can say that the consumers assume, okay, we are general consumers, sometimes we have a tendency that we should assume that high priced goods are of higher quality than the low priced goods. This is sometimes it can be right, sometimes it can be a notional imagination. So such a situation that is going to really affect the demand of those commodity. How does it affect? If some of the people, for example, if you are going to purchase or shopping for a marriage function, okay, we all are entered in a shop and we are seeing, searching for different types of commodity. So some of the people, they are not ready to like those commodity. The commodities price is very low. If those commodities possesses the low prices, people think that those are poor quality. So what they want, they order the salesman to show more of such commodity. The price is too high, because that quality price relation explains that more is the price, more is the quantity. The less is the price, less is the quality. So this, due to considering this point in their mind, they may ask them to show such a commodity. So normally, if a shop owner does not have such a commodity, what will they do? The salesman have an idea that, okay, these people are in the case of such a way, so just they change the price tag from there, and in place of 5,000 they may just add it is 50,000. The same, maybe the same quantity with the same sizes, same design, same wrappers, same color. But what is difference there? Only the price. So that makes the consumers happy. I'm very happy because the product, even the product may be very bad conditions, but never mind, that shows high good price, 1 crore rupees, 1 lakh rupees, my sari is cost, my shirt is cost of this much rupees, which means the quality is good. So that relation is quality price relation, and which is known as Veblen effect. So in that cases, the law of demand never functions. Got it? So this is another point, quality price relation. And one more point we could say, change in fashion. You can note it down. Change in fashion. Change in fashion. Change in fashion. What is? How does it affect the? How does it violate the law of demand? So we can say when a commodity goes out of the markets. Okay, when a commodity goes out of fashion, consumer will not regard it, or consumer is not ready to purchase such a commodity, outdated one. It's a common behavior of the consumer. It's a common nature of the consumer. Being we are consumer, we know that I am always searching to get a update the most modern products, whatever it is, the latest version, the latest thing. So the outdated commodity may not have a demand of that. So therefore, whatever the price of such outdated one, generally price will be high. So for me it's not a matter, because I want the top model, the latest one. So there I can easily violate the law of demand. There I would not so show that when price of a commodity increases, quantity demanded decreases. No, there what is happening, when even at high prices I may demand more, both increases. Demand and quantity, demand and price of the commodity both increases. So these, in that cases we can say these are the some of the points that violates, that do not allow the law of demand to function in actual life. So there are so many cases that we violates the law of demand. In all such cases we would say price, when a price increases, demand also increases. When price falls, we can say demand also. So in that situation we can say exception to the law of demand. In all these exceptions, if it is asked to show the demand curve in that cases, in all these situations we can show the demand curve which is positively sloping from left to right. What positively sloping? So if I draw the demand curve in such a situation, we can draw like this. OX quantity demanded, OY price. DD demand curve, P, P1, Q, Q1. Now look at this diagram. The demand curve is positively sloping, and the consumer can demand OP by OP price. By OP price, the consumer can demand OQ quantity. When the price of that commodity increases from OP to OP1, you will write price increases from OP to OP1, then what will happen? P to P1 price increases, then quantity demanded of commodity also increases from OQ to OQ1, this area. So this is what the law of the exception to the law of demand means. The demand curve shows what type of relation we will see, that positively sloped from left side to right. The law of demand curve slopes downward from left to right, but exceptions against the law of demand upward from left to right, positively sloped, and demand curve is negatively sloped, but this cases it is positively sloped. So all these exceptions, we have discussed here about 6 causes or exception to the law of demand. In all the cases, each can be asked separately. In all the cases, you can utilize the diagram of this. In all these 6 cases, you can utilize this diagram, and that diagram you have to explain. The shape of demand curve is positively sloping. What does it show? It shows the relation, but when the price of commodity increases, quantity demanded of a commodity also increases. Okay, that is what you can show in these points. Are you clear? Okay, so these are the exceptions to the law of demand. Now we will move to the another topic. Okay, I am going to rub this. Now we will see that change in quantity demanded. You can write next heading. change in quantity demanded, in bracket you can write movement along the demand curve. Movement along the demand curve. Change in quantity demanded is okay. Movement along the demand curve. What we will study here? Okay. When the quantity demanded of a commodity changes, okay, which means rises or falls. I repeat, when the quantity demanded of a commodity changes, that means either rises or falls as a result of change in its price. As a result of change in its price, while other determinants of demand are remain constant. What is going to change in that case as price only. The other determinants we have studied, there are 8, 9 determinants we had already studied. Other determinants only other than price, means price is going to change due to changes in the price, rises or falls. Then what is happening? While other determinants remain same. Quantity demanded of a commodity can also changes, increase as well as decrease. That is known as movement along the demand or change in quantity demanded. That is known as change in quantity demanded. So what is mean by change in quantity demanded? Quantity demanded of a commodity can change, can increase or decrease due to change in its price. Whereas while other factors, determinants of demand remain same. Constant, no changes in. What are other things like income of the consumer, taste and preference of the consumer, fashion, etc. we have studied. So those determinants remain constant. Here only the prices change. So that is known as change in quantity demanded. Then change in quantity demanded can be two types. Change in quantity demanded can be two types. Okay, two types. The first one is that we can find out that extension of demand, and another one is contraction of demand. The first one is that extension of demand. Extension of demand, and another one is contraction of demand. Contraction of demand. Contraction of demand. Change in quantity demand may be of two types. Number one is extension of demand, and number two is contraction of demand. Extension of demand and contraction of demand. Now we will study what is mean by extension and what is mean by contraction, and along with the help of a diagram. Okay, so first one, extension of demand. What is mean by extension of demand? I repeat, when the quantity demanded of a commodity rises due to falls in price, other things remaining same, is known as extension in demand. I repeat, when the quantity demanded of a commodity increases, when the quantity demanded of a commodity increases due to falls in price, other things remain constant. That situation is known as extension in demand. So extension in demand, you must keep in mind that other things other than price, they must remain same, only price changes there. Due to that slight variation in the prices, either rise or increase, or in this cases we will say decreases, that may leads to change in quantity demanded more than the previous demanded commodity. That is known as extension in demand. So what is extension demand? We can write change in quantity demanded increases. We write in short, quantity demanded increases due to falls in price. This is known as extension in demand. Now what is mean by contraction of demand? Contraction of demand or falls in the quantity demanded. Falls in the quantity demanded. Okay, when falls in quantity demanded when there is an increase in price of the commodity. So just opposite of that. We can write that quantity demanded decreases due to what? Due to increase in price. This is known as contraction of demand. Contraction of demand. So to extension and contraction we are clear. What is that? Here what can vary? Only price can vary. Price is not remain constant, but other factors other than price will remain constant. Therefore we can say those rises and falls in prices may lead to changes in quantity demanded. Changes in quantity demanded when quantity demanded can increase when the price falls, and quantity demanded can decrease when price increase. This is known as extension and contraction of demand. So if I draw this, okay, let us show these two situations in a graphical representation. So listen here, I am just going to show the extension and contraction of demand with the help of a graph. So graph, we have to draw OX and OY axis. So you please draw that OX and OY axis. Okay, OY and OX axis. And OY axis we are going to show prices, and OX is quantity demanded. And now we need to draw a demand curve. Demand curve is negatively sloping. So I am going to draw a straight line demand curve. This is a demand curve, and I have drawn and written DD for demand curve. Now I need to show this extension. So in order to show the extension of demand, I need to make a beginning situation. Suppose okay, I am just this is the price, what is P, and this is the quantity. Now this is the situation in economic situation, in the market situation. In that cases, what is happening? What I told, quantity demanded can increases due to falls in price. Suppose the initial price is here OP. Now suppose the price of a commodity falls from OP to OP1. So this is another prices P1. So price falls from OP to OP1. Then what is happening? What is happening here? When price decreased from OP to OP1, so an arrow mark is kept there which shows a falls in price leads to an increase in quantity demanded. An arrow mark from OQ to OQ1, and therefore we can say this is a situation of initial situation of A, and this is another point A1. So there can be a falls. So this is an arrow mark shows the trend towards a downward. Okay, so this arrow mark shows that trend towards its changes. See, price falls due to falls in price. Quantity increases. Quantity demanded increases. Quantity OQ to OQ1. Quantity is OQ to OQ1 increased. And that situation, that means from A to A1 movement is there. So this is known as extension. So here we will write extension in demand. This is extension in demand. Is that clear? Extension is demand. Now the same way, if we make a contraction of demand, make the same graph here too, OX and OY axis. You can draw along with me. OY and OX. OX as usual, quantity demanded, and OY is price. Now we will make a demand curve here. Okay, demand curve DD. Make sure that denote what is this line. DD shows demand curve. Denote it. Then the initial stage, you denote that it is initial stage of price and quantity. Now what is here we need to show? Need to show contraction of demand. What is contraction of demand? Quantity demanded decrease due to rise in price. Now this is the initial stage of price. From means OP is the initial stage of price. When OP changes from OP to OP1, this is the changes. OP to OP1. So I make an arrow mark here. Okay, OP1, OP to OP1. Then what about quantity? Look, vertical line towards x-axis, and therefore there is a falls in quantity demanded. So I write OQ1. Okay, so quantity will be OQ to OQ1. Decreases, diminishes. That means we can say this is the point A and this is also A1. So we will make a arrow mark to this way. So both the cases diagrams, with the help of diagram we have explained the extension of demand and contraction of demand. So both explanation, or it is a situation where quantity demanded increases due to decrease in price while other determinants remain constant. Contraction of demand is quantity demanded decreases due to increase in prices while other determinants remain constant. So two situations with the help of diagram we have written. You can note it down. Just note it down. Okay, I'm just going to rub this. Now we will move to the next. You can also write change in quantity demanded. In bracket you will write shift in demand curve. Shift in demand curve. Shift in demand curve. Shift in demand curve. Here we will study shift in demand curve. What is meant by shift in demand curve? I will explain. When the amount purchased of a commodity, okay, listen carefully. When the amount purchased of a commodity rises or falls because of change in its factors other than its own price. Changes in quantity demanded of a commodity can occur when there is a changes in determinants other than price, which means price remain constant here. In this situation, shift in demand curve, we will see a consumer can changes his demand when there is a changes in other determinants. That means price remain constant. Then what is income of the consumer can increase. Taste and preference can change, size of population can change. Due to that, quantity demanded may affect. Such a situation is known as shift in demand curve. That is known as change in demand. Got it? Change in demand. Now change in demand may be of two types. In these cases also we have two types. So we can draw that. Two types. Number one is increase in demand. increase in demand and decrease in demand. Decrease in demand. Increase in demand and decrease in demand. This is also similar to the changes in quantity. Demanded movement along the demand curve, but it is not that price varies. Here price is remaining constant. I have told you, when the amount of quantity demanded of a commodity rises or falls because of, due to change in factors other than its own price. That means price remain constant. Other factors, because of other factors variation, this demanded quantity demanded may change. Now the first one we will study what is mean by increase in demand. First type of shift in demand curve is increase in demand. What is increase in demand curve? Increase in demand refers to a situation when the consumers buy larger amount of commodity at the same prices. If a consumer, when a consumer purchases larger amount of commodity at the same prices, that is known as increase in demand. So increase in demand, okay, because what factor is changes here? Because of other factors, because of changes in other factors other than price. Price of a commodity remains same, but due to my changes in income level or due to my taste and preferences, due to some other factors, if I change my quantity demanded, then that is known as increase in demand. Increase in demand is also we can explain with the help of increasing schedule and increasing demand curve. Okay, so increase and decrease we have discussed it, and decrease in the same sense. So in increased demand, what we can write here? The quantity demanded, we can write that the quantity demanded increases when the price remain constant. Quantity demanded increases due to change in other factors other than price. That means price remains constant. This situation is known as increase in demand. Whereas in decrease in demand, also we can say what is it is a situation when the consumers buy or demand smaller quantity of commodity. Due to other factors changes other than price. That situation is known as a decrease in demand. Okay, I think I am clear to you. A decrease in demand means that the entire demand curve, when we see that this situation, the demand curve can shift. Here both the situation, when we draw a curve, we can see that the increase in demand curve, the fully demand curve can shift towards right side. A new demand curve is formed. Similarly, when there is a decrease in demand, the entire demand curve shifts to the left side, and therefore that causes by smaller units of commodities purchased by the less price. Here what is happening? Here other factors. Okay, price remain constant. Keep in mind. Whereas in that case, we have seen due to the changes in price. Now it is here just opposite of extension and contraction. Clear? Now we will draw the diagram. So let us draw the diagram here. Also you can draw the diagram. OX and OY, same as you write quantity demanded, price, demand curve, initial stage price and quantity. Okay, price remain constant due to other determinants changes. Consumer can changes his demand. So when a consumer demand less of quantity demanded of the same commodity by the same prices. For example, a leftward shift of the demand curve. Leftward shift from here to here. This is a new demand curve. This is a new demand curve formed. New demand curve. This dotted line is a new demand curve. Okay, we can say that the entire demand curve is shift to the left. Shift to the left. Shift to the left from A to A1. Shift to the left. And that demand curve shows quantity demanded of a commodity decreases, falls, okay, due to other changes in factors of determinants of demand. So that is what is known as decrease in demand. Whereas in these cases we can also show OX, OY. OX is quantity demanded, OY is price, demand curve, initial stage, price, quantity, then a rightward shift of the entire demand curve shift to rightward, a rightward shift. So I am just drawing a new demand curve with a dotted line shifting D to D1, okay, DD to D1, and quantity demanded. Price line is extended towards the newly formed demand curve. From there, a vertical line towards x-axis, and we are getting a Q1 quantity shifts. Arrow mark here, as well as from A to A1. Arrow mark shows the rightward shift. What remain constant here? Price remain constant here. Are you getting me? Do not make it confusion. Okay? In shifting demand curve, price remain constant. In extension and contraction, price changes. This is the difference. Other factors, due to other factors, here quantity demanded changes. And if a demand curve shifts towards right side, a new demand curve is formed, then that is known as increase in demand curve. If the demand curve is shift to the left side, okay, that is known as decrease in demand curve. Got it? So these are the differences, and these are the two conditions, two types of changes in quantity demand in case of shift in demand curve. That means increase in demand and decrease in demand. Are you clear? Okay, now this increase and decrease in demand, okay, quantity demanded, or it can, there is a leftward shift to the demand curve, and in these cases there is a rightward shift of the demand curve due to some factors, shift factors. We can call what are the reasons behind this, or with the help of what, why it is, why does the demand curve move from leftwards, okay, from the right, and the rightwards from the left. It is because of some of the factors, okay, shifting factors, we can say some factors, okay, shift factors means reasons. Factors, if we say, we can write that the first one is the income of the consumer, income, and second one we can say price of its substitutes, price of substitutes, price of substitutes, and if the third reason we can say that price of complements, and the fourth one taste and preference, we have studied all the determinants, okay, then price expectations, okay, then population, the size of population. So these are some of the shifting factors, reasons behind this increase and decrease in the demand curve. Okay, I think you are clear. So today we have studied an important part. Okay, the first one we have just let us just revise it. Okay, if you are not clear, see the video again and again and make it clear. Make a short notes. I think you are doing. Okay, let me remind you again. Okay, the first part we have studied exceptions to the law of demand. Okay, we have seen some of the exceptions. Okay, all those exceptions, the law of demand never functions. Everywhere we see a positive sloping demand curve. Okay, that means both demand, quantity demanded increases and there is a increase in prices. Now again we have studied change in quantity in two ways, contraction and expansion. So this contraction and expansion and increase in decrease. Now the factors of this shifts of the demand curve. So these points, okay, again and again you read it, you study it and make the chapter clear. Okay, here comes the end of the second chapter, that means the chapter demand, and we will move to the next chapter by next class, and meanwhile you make sure you have cleared all these important points from the first chapter, all the diagrams, definitions and so on. Okay then, thank you, bye.